Here is the Full Heart Health Script. Copy Caro. Cart your heart while you sleep. 5 nighttime habits silently destroying your heart and brain after 50. Cold open, the moment that changes everything. Imagine this. It's 2 in the morning. The house is quiet. Everyone is asleep. Your spouse is lying right beside you. You've gone to bed 1,000 times before. Nothing feels different. Nothing feels wrong. But something is wrong. Something that started weeks ago, maybe months ago. Something invisible happening inside your chest, inside your brain, while you believed you were safe. By 6 in the morning, you don't wake up. This is not a story. This happens every single day to real people. People who had no idea they were in danger. And the most devastating part? Most of them were doing something every single night. Something they thought was completely harmless, that was silently working against their heart and brain. Tonight, we change that. My name is Hostname. I have spent decades in cardiovascular health research, focused specifically on adults over 50, and in the next 15 minutes, I am going to show you the 5 nighttime habits that are the most dangerous and exactly what you can do, starting tonight, to protect yourself. Stay with me. This could be the most important 15 minutes of your life. Section 1. Why nighttime is when your heart is most vulnerable. Before we get to the 5 habits, you need to understand something that most people, even many doctors, don't explain clearly enough. Nighttime is not a safe zone for your heart. For adults over 50, it can actually be the most dangerous time of the entire day. Here's the science. When you fall into healthy, deep sleep, your body is supposed to enter what cardiologists call the nocturnal dip. This is a natural, protective process. Your blood pressure drops by 10 to 20%. Your heart rate slows. Your nervous system shifts from fight or flight mode into rest and repair mode. Your brain activates a cleaning system, literally flushing out toxic waste products that built up during the day, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. This nocturnal dip is not optional. It is essential. It is your body's nightly maintenance program. But here is what the research shows, and this is the number from the American Heart Association that should make every person over 50 stop and pay attention. Nearly half of all fatal cardiovascular events in older adults occur between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Not during exercise, not during stress, during sleep. Why? Because certain habits most people don't even question, disrupt that nocturnal dip. They keep your blood pressure elevated. They keep your nervous system in a state of hidden stress. They create inflammation in your arteries while you lie completely still, completely unaware. And here are the 5 most dangerous ones. Habit number 1, eating late at night. Habit number 1, and this one surprises people every single time, eating within 2 to 3 hours of going to bed. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a snack. It's just something small. And that's exactly why this habit is so dangerous. Because it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels comfortable. It feels normal. But here is what's happening inside your body. When you eat, even a modest amount, your digestive system activates. Your body releases insulin to process the incoming glucose. Your metabolism speeds up. Your core body temperature rises. And critically, your blood pressure increases and stays elevated. Now, when should your blood pressure be going down? That's right. At night, during sleep. A 2019 study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association followed over 6,000 adults and found that late-night eating was independently associated with a 55% higher risk of elevated nighttime blood pressure, even after controlling for diet quality, weight, and exercise habits. 55%. Not from what they ate, from when they ate. For adults over 50, this matters even more. Your arteries are less flexible than they were at 30. Your heart works harder to push blood through them. Any disruption to the nocturnal dip puts additional strain on a system that is already working with less reserve. What you should do. Finish your last meal or substantial snack at least 3 hours before bed. If you are genuinely hungry close to bedtime, a small amount of protein, like a few nuts or a piece of cheese, is far better than carbohydrates or sugar, which trigger a stronger insulin response. Set a kitchen closing time. Make it a rule, not a suggestion. Your heart will notice the difference within days. Habit number 2, sleeping with your phone. Habit number 2, and this one, I suspect, describes the majority of people watching this video right now. Keeping your smartphone on your nightstand, or worse, in your bed, and checking it right before you sleep, or when you wake up at 2 a.m. and can't fall back asleep. This habit is attacking your cardiovascular system in 3 separate ways simultaneously. First, blue light and melatonin suppression. The light emitted by your phone screen is specifically in the blue spectrum, the same spectrum that your brain uses as a signal that it's daytime. When you expose your eyes to blue light after dark, your brain stops producing melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Without adequate melatonin, you don't enter deep sleep stages properly. And without deep sleep, your blood pressure does not dip. Your cortisol does not drop. Your heart gets no real rest. Second, emotional activation. News, social media, messages from family, work emails. Any of these can trigger an emotional response, anxiety, concern, excitement, conflict, that releases adrenaline and cortisol into your bloodstream at 11 p.m. These stress hormones constrict your blood vessels and raise your heart rate at precisely the moment your cardiovascular system needs to be calming down. Third, fragmented sleep. Every time you check your phone during the night, you interrupt your sleep architecture. You prevent yourself from completing the 90-minute sleep cycles that allow for proper cardiovascular restoration. A landmark study from Harvard Medical School found that people who used screens within 1 hour of bedtime had significantly higher nighttime heart rates and blood pressure compared to those who did not, regardless of what they were actually watching or reading. What you should do. Buy an inexpensive alarm clock. Put your phone in another room at night. Charge it in the kitchen, the hallway, anywhere but your bedroom. If you use your phone as an alarm, this one change alone, moving it out of the bedroom, has been shown in multiple studies to improve sleep depth, lower nighttime blood pressure, and reduce morning cortisol levels. This is free. It costs you nothing, and it might save your life. Check-to-a-year habit number 3. Sleeping on your back if you snore. Habit number 3. And this one is responsible for more silent cardiovascular damage than almost anything else we're discussing today. Sleeping on your back, especially if you snore, or if you've been told you stop breathing during sleep. This is about obstructive sleep apnea, and I cannot overstate how seriously the medical community takes this condition in adults over 50. Here is what happens when you sleep on your back and your airway partially or completely collapses. Your brain detects that oxygen levels are dropping. It triggers an emergency stress response. Your body releases a surge of adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes. Your blood pressure shoots up, sometimes to hypertensive crisis levels, in a matter of seconds. Then you partially wake up. Your airway opens. You fall back to sleep, and the cycle begins again. This can happen 30, 40, sometimes 60 or more times per hour. All night. Every night. While you believe you are sleeping. The cardiovascular consequences are catastrophic. Untreated sleep apnea increases the risk of high blood pressure by 3 times. It increases the risk of heart attack by 23 times. It increases the risk of stroke by 3 times. And it dramatically accelerates cognitive decline. The snoring that your partner complains about, that is not just an annoyance. That is the sound of your heart and brain being damaged night after night. What you should do. First, talk to your doctor about getting a sleep study. Modern sleep studies can be done at home with a simple device. If you have sleep apnea, a CPAP machine is extraordinarily effective. People who begin CPAP therapy often see their blood pressure drop within weeks without changing any medication. Second, tonight, try sleeping on your side. Sew a tennis ball into the back of your pajama top if you need to. It sounds silly, but it is actually a clinically recommended technique to prevent backsleeping. Positional therapy alone can reduce sleep apnea episodes by up to 50% in mild to moderate cases. Do not dismiss this habit. Of everything we discussed today, this one may be the most urgent. Habit 4. Drinking alcohol to help you sleep. Habit number 4. And this is the one that breaks people's hearts because it feels like self-care. A glass of wine before bed, a small nightcap, a whiskey to relax. Millions of adults over 50 do this. Many of them believe, genuinely believe, that it helps them sleep better. I need to tell you clearly, as someone who cares about your health, alcohol does not help you sleep. Alcohol sedates you. These are not the same thing. Here is the crucial difference. When alcohol sedates you, you fall asleep faster. Yes, but the quality of that sleep is profoundly impaired. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, the deep restorative stage where your brain consolidates memory, processes emotions, and performs critical neurological maintenance. It also causes something called sleep rebound. As alcohol is metabolized, usually in the second half of the night, your nervous system becomes hyperactivated. You wake up at 3 a.m. Your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, you can't get back to sleep, and your cardiovascular system, it has been in a state of disruption all night. Research from the European Heart Journal shows that even moderate alcohol consumption, 1 to 2 drinks, in the 3 hours before bed, raises nighttime heart rate by an average of 8 beats per minute and significantly impairs the nocturnal blood pressure dip. Over time, this pattern causes something called non-dipping hypertension, where blood pressure never fully drops during the night. Non-dipping hypertension is one of the strongest independent predictors of heart attack and stroke that cardiologists measure. What you should do. If you enjoy a glass of wine, have it with dinner, not after. Give your body at least 3 hours to process the alcohol before you sleep. For the bedtime relaxation ritual itself, replace alcohol with something that actually works. Chamomile tea with a teaspoon of honey, warm milk, magnesium glycinate, a supplement shown to genuinely improve sleep quality, or a simple 10-minute relaxation breathing practice. Your body will thank you with deeper sleep, lower blood pressure, and a clearer mind in the morning. Habit number 5. Inconsistent sleep timing. Habit number 5, and this is the one that almost no one talks about. But the research on it is overwhelming. Going to sleep at different times every night. Monday, midnight. Tuesday, 10 p.m. Wednesday, 1 a.m. Friday, 3 a.m. Sunday, you try to catch up. This pattern has a name in medical literature. It's called social jet lag. And for adults over 50, it is quietly destroying your cardiovascular health. Here is why. Your body runs on something called the circadian rhythm, a 24-hour biological clock that regulates virtually every system in your body. Your heart rate, your blood pressure, your hormone release, your immune function, your metabolism. All of it is timed to a precise schedule. When you go to sleep at irregular times, you disrupt that clock. Your body doesn't know when to release melatonin. It doesn't know when to drop blood pressure. It doesn't know when to produce growth hormone for tissue repair. Every system gets confused. Every system suffers. A major study from Harvard, following over 2,000 adults across multiple years, found that people with highly irregular sleep schedules had a 2.2 times higher risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those with consistent sleep timing, even when total sleep hours were the same amount of sleep, 2.2 times more risk, just from being inconsistent. What you should do. Choose a bedtime and a wake time, and keep them 7 days a week. Yes, including weekends. Within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent timing, most people report deeper sleep, easier morning awakening, improved mood, and measurably lower morning blood pressure. Set a sleep alarm, an alarm that tells you it's time to start your bedtime routine, not just a wake-up alarm. Treat your sleep schedule with the same respect you give a doctor's appointment, because in a very real sense, it is one. Bonus: the one habit that protects you while you sleep. Now, before I close, I want to give you something positive. Because knowledge of danger is only half of what you need. Here is one nightly habit that the research shows actively protects your heart and brain while you sleep. A 10-minute breathing practice before bed. Specifically, slow, diaphragmatic breathing. In through the nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, out through the mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, within minutes. It lowers cortisol, it drops blood pressure, it slows heart rate, it signals to your cardiovascular system that it is safe to enter the nocturnal dip. A study from the Journal of Human Hypertension found that just 10 minutes of this kind of slow breathing before bed reduced nighttime systolic blood pressure by an average of 9 points in adults over 55. 9 points. From breathing. With no medication, no cost, no side effects. Do it in bed, in the dark, before you close your eyes. Make it the last thing you do before sleep. Closing. The choice you make tonight. Let me bring this back to where we started, that quiet bedroom, that person who went to sleep and didn't wake up. In many cases, not all but many, that outcome was not inevitable. It was the result of years of small, silent habits that no one warned them about. Habits that felt harmless, habits that felt normal. Tonight, you know something different. You know that eating late keeps your blood pressure elevated when it should be dropping. You know that your phone is disrupting your sleep architecture and your cardiac recovery. You know that snoring is not just an inconvenience. It may be a medical emergency happening every night. You know that alcohol is sedating you, not resting you. And you know that irregular sleep timing is confusing your heart's internal clock. You don't have to change all 5 tonight. Start with 1, the easiest one. The one you can control right now. Put the phone in another room tonight. Go to bed at the same time tonight. Eat dinner 1 hour earlier tonight. One change. That's all. And then another change next week. Your heart has been working for you every single minute of your life. Without a day off, without a break, without a complaint. It has given you everything. Give it one good night. Starting tonight. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you love who is over 50. It might be the most important thing you share this year. And subscribe, because every week we bring you the science that helps you live longer, stronger, and sharper. Your health after 50 is not a destination. It's a decision you make every single day and every single night.